Hello, everyone. So today I'm in conversation with Alessandra Tognazzo and Lisa Griggio, both from the University of Padua in Italy. Before we get stuck into what we're going to talk about today, which is a recognition of your work, an award and your virtual exchange, would you like to introduce yourselves, please? Lisa, would you like to come in first?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for inviting us. Yeah, I'm Lisa, and I've been working at University of Padua for 20 years now. And currently, I'm dealing with implementing and assisting teachers in running virtual exchanges. So I'm both an instruction designer and as well as an e-tutor. So I also facilitated those virtual exchanges and beeps. And yeah,
Blended intensive programs, are they?
yeah, sorry, yeah,
Blended.
yeah, absolutely. BEEP stands for Blended Intensive Programs. Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I also running and I'm coordinator of a intercultural, multilingual virtual exchanges within the Arqus framework. Arqus stands for Arqus Alliance, a European University Alliance made up of 9 universities, among which there is University of Padua, of course. And so we address different topics related to sustainable goals and intercultural themes.
Thank you,
So
Lisa.
basically,
Thank you. Thank you. Alessandra, come in and tell us who you are and what you do.
Yes, so I am a researcher at the Department of Economics and Management at the University of Padua in Italy. And I teach one undergraduate course in organization design and one graduate course in family business. And the reason why we are here, pertains to the family business course.
Okay, let's pick up on that then, Alessandra. Now, we are talking today about virtual exchange, but the reason we're talking about it is because you've got some recognition and award. So tell us a bit about what this award is and why you received it. And then we'll talk about your virtual exchange per se.
So the award is an award by the University of Padua, but that has to do with the Arqus Alliance because it is promoting new ways of teaching and new teaching projects that integrate a student-centered approach, but that also integrate new technology and new goals. And why I participated is because of a coincidences. I would say a series of coincidences, because I discovered, thanks to a colleague, that this award existed. And when I tried, to fill in the different boxes of the call for application, I found out that there was a lot of, so that the project that I was proposing was very much in line with what the
Fitted very
award,
well.
yes, with what the award required.
Okay.
And happily, I found out that we were among the selected projects, so the 3 best projects. And I think that's a way from our university to promote new teaching methods, also to show that there is a recognition for new teaching projects.
Okay. So Lisa, what was your role on this project? And then I'm going to ask you a bit about the content and the structure. But Lisa, you had a support role in this project. So explain to us what you did.
yeah. So basically, what we did was just to implement this virtual exchange by considering the different themes and direction trends in intercultural competence. And so we added intersectionality with real world issues like artificial intelligence. And then we focus on sustainable development goals. And especially, we try to engage students in peer learning and peer assessing. So basically, we followed all these lines while implementing it.
Okay, so Alessandra, may I ask you to explain to our viewers and listeners the content, outline the structure and content of your virtual exchange? What we talk? I believe it's related to family business. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Let's have an overview of the structure of how I integrated the virtual exchange into the course.
Yes,
so basically, the students had first some in-class sessions about family business that were conducted by myself and by a consultant. So they also had, let's say, some interactive sessions in class. Then we moved to the online module. So let's say the course was organized in these two modules. And for this online module that was corresponding to the virtual exchange, attendance was mandatory. And this was quite important and important information for the students, as this course integrated students attending our master degree, which were both Italian and international, so some degree seekers, as we currently call them, name these students. But it also included some Erasmus students who were, in Italy just for some time. This virtual exchange has been developed with another professor, namely Jörg Obergfell from the University of Trier, from the design campus. And instead, they opened up the course with the virtual exchange, and then taking out what came out from the virtual component, virtual module of his course, he then integrates that into the in-presence part of his course, where he's going to work more into the, let's say, physical part of the artistic project that he's going to develop with the students. In terms of structure of the virtual exchange itself, it was organized in 5 or 6 sessions, depending on the year of preference, because this year we had 6, last year we had 5. And let's say we tried to give a good balance between, let's say, the family business component and the artistic component brought by the other professor. We also ensured that there was a session dedicated to, I would say, getting to know each other, but also to, how can we say, delve into the goals of the project. So the idea that students would work on their competencies in terms of, interculturality, in terms of digital and technological skills. So something that goes beyond just the content of the course and explaining the goals of the project. Each session was organized in parts, and I don't know if Lisa, you want to explain like the first part, the main part, and then the last part of each session.
Okay, so each sessions basically was 3 tracks structured. So there was let's say, an informal level in which students had to get to know each other by carrying out ice-breaking activities. Then we passed to a more formal, informal level where students addressed controversial and critical issues, like, for example, dealing with art and artificial intelligence. So these two different themes together. And then we ended up with the third level that was more related to formality and was delivered by teachers themselves.
When we were chatting before, Lisa, you mentioned how this virtual exchange contributes to the internationalization at home within the university. Can you expand on that a little bit for our listeners?
Well, actually, this course was already really much internationalized, as Alessandra mentioned before, because they already included both Erasmus and degree seekers. So it was, let's say, really much intercultural and really much multilingual, right? What we did was just to exploit this diversity in order to let students make the best out of it. So not to perceive it as a hurdle, but rather as an asset. So the beginning, they said that they didn't want to embrace this virtual exchange because they said that it wasn't nothing in it for them, because they were already immersed in a very multicultural context, right? But then we addressed this challenge by saying that the benefit was be engaged in a virtual context and enhancing and fostering the digital skills, especially know how to behave online, know how to work online is particularly different from in presence context setting. So that was the benefit for it, as well as dealing with technologies. And nowadays, many, let's say, professionals has moved to online interaction. So that was basically what we focused on in order to let students understand what was on it and why they had to, be engaged.
So I'm hearing that engagement and motivation were a bit of a challenge initially, but you managed to overcome that. Alessandra, you mentioned the other challenge of inclusion. I'm wondering whether you want to explain a bit about what happened during your course, during your
Yes, so in terms of process of how this course, this virtual exchange, let's say, took place, basically I was doing in my family business traditional course, let's say, group projects. So one important part of the grade had to do with developing group projects. And I tried many different strategies, to build up the groups on the basis of competencies, on the basis of roles, on, let's say, on the basis of nationality, but I still was experiencing a big challenge. And the challenge was exclusion in terms of, either having the, let's say, Italians working together and so the Erasmus didn't feel really included in the process because they had different commitments. So they had, a different workload during the semester. They spoke a different language, because Italians, when they turned to work within the same team, they spoke their mother tongue, their mother language. So there were issues. There was then issues, there was an issue regarding performance in terms of people that worked for a high grade, that had a hard time including people that had different expectations. So given this, I thought that a virtual exchange using a transdisciplinarity as a mean to overcome these difficulties might have been the key for developing a different way of working together. Mm-hmm. And this is precisely what happened. So Lisa really helped me go through the process because it was a different way of teaching and a different way of learning. So maybe, I don't know, Lisa, if you want to expand a bit more on the group dynamics that you have observed and how we build up the groups and what we have seen. But I have seen a big difference.
Yeah. I mean, at the beginning they were a bit skeptical. I mean, they use, well, while they were in presence, they tended to be let's say grouped by nationality, whereas we tended to mix them up, and they were pretty much skeptical, but then they realized that it was much in it for them. I mean, the benefits were immense, and so they really appreciate the fact that they had to embrace different way of thinking, different way of working, different way of learning.
So I think there were some little secrets that we can share. So the first one is the use of humor. Because that helped a lot the climate. I mean, Lisa really helped also online to facilitate discussions, because there might be people that are more shy and introvert, while, you know, we tried to, you know, have this way of doing the breakout rooms, then having a reporter. That's a strategy, you know, to help enhance the discussions. Second, the selection of topics that had to be, let's say, something to which the students were sensitive to. Third, I would say including in the grade or let's say an evaluation of their teamwork effort. So including peer evaluations of members, helping them. We use this virtual project tracker. So each week, basically, they had to fill in just a short bit, you know, piece of their project.
Such a little bit.
Yes, but they at least, you know, needed to meet, even for a picture, a fun picture that they had to share with us. And then, you know, during the classes, we would start from their work, their contribution, and then build on what they were doing. And I think this was extremely helpful for the project. So leverage, as Lisa was saying, that their soft skills and, you know, noticing it during the classes.
Their, let's say, takeaways was that they found themselves at the end being much more respectful towards somebody else's perspective, somebody else's identity, somebody else's cultures, somebody else's language, right? So they to me, their comfort zone grew very much. A aha moment to me, that was the aha moment was the unboxing activity. The unboxing activity took place simultaneously and was related to the unboxing different products related to family business. And they were bought by Alessandra, and then Jörg Oberfeld, the other teacher, came down and he brought physically the box in his class. So then an unboxing activity took place, and so at the very same moment, both in Padua and in Trier, students were unboxing and touching the very same things that were inside, because the products were identical, right? And so that moment to me was really intense, and I would say also moving because I mean they really felt closer to each other, although they were far geographically speaking. So yeah, that was to me really, really important and would say amazing.
I totally agree. And I think that my words will be words of encouragement towards educators, professors, researchers that currently complain about these generations of students. I hear complaints so many times about the, you know, oh, they don't study enough, or their preparation level is not as good as those back in times, or their attention level drops very quickly, and so on. But I see this change as a possibility to change ourselves. So my message is, try to change yourself and do something different, explore different territories. I mean, through technological means, you can meet new people from all over the world, and you can, you know, really discover new things, enhance your learning. So doing a virtual exchange is maybe, you know, a little tiny way but to see an opportunity where you think there is no opportunity anymore. So thank you also to UNICollaboration for training me into this, and well, let me envision this possibility.
Thank you, Alessandra, and thank you, Lisa, for your time today, and thank you for a very interesting discussion.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Grazie, Lorenza.
Yeah.
Grazie.